Is buy now, pay later really that bad? Let's check out this video.
The consumer use of buy now, pay later continues to grow.
Many consumers in all segments are using it. It's become pretty ubiquitous on online shopping, at checkout, and also is offered in many stores.
Everywhere you go, man, buy now, pay later is always an option, especially online. It's always going to be Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm. It's always an option everywhere you go. And it did amaze me. I remember the first time it came out, my wife had mentioned it to me. She's like, hey, you ever heard of this thing called buy now, pay later? Or in that case, Afterpay was really popular. And I was like, no, but instantly, me being who I am, due to knowing finances, I'm like, okay, this is a trap. Right? This is a trap to get people to buy more and more things. So no, if you don't have the money for it, then just don't buy it. So I was so anti buy now, pay later. And then little by little, I keep on seeing it available in all these places. So I got curious. And I said, okay, let me try this out. Right? Let me see how they're able to hook so many people to use their services. And I used it and I was impressed. I really was impressed. Now, I'm not here preaching you should use buy now, pay later. I am not saying that, but I'm certainly giving you my opinion. If you're someone that's not good with using credit cards, this is a better option. Well, the first option obviously is to buy it straight cash, but if you have a second option and you could admit that you're not good with using credit cards, buy now, pay later is really attractive. Now, there's pros and cons to using it. Number one being the credit score. Obviously, with credit cards, that's the only way you can increase your credit score. And using buy now, pay later, the credit bureau, they don't know anything about this debt. That's why they call it the phantom debt. So you're not going to get a good credit score because of it. But overall, I think it's a good idea for people who are not good with credit, especially if there's some type of emergency. And I understand people in the comments are going to say this. We're going to be like, well, you shouldn't buy whatever, but that's not the reality now. The reality is so many people, and there's obviously $2 trillion in credit card debt, and people continuously making all these minimum payments and they're falling behind. An option like buy now, pay later might have made the situation better. Why? Because after 4 months, because after 3 payments, it's done. This is not no lingering debt.
Buy now, pay later plans are changing consumer spending habits by allowing purchases to be split into short-term, typically interest-free installments, offering an alternative to credit cards.
Credit isn't new. Credit's been around for thousands of years, and credit cards aren't new, but they've had a hard time adapting to consumers' needs.
They do have a very hard time adapting to consumer needs. It reminds me of taxis, right? When taxis were around, I mean, it's still around, but when there was the only form of transportation, it reminded me of them when they looked at Uber like, it's a joke. But people hated waiting for a taxi, hauling a taxi in the street. It was like a pain in the ass thing to do. And to have the ability to get on the phone and just boom, request a driver, pick you up, take you where you need to go. The convenience aspect is perfect. The credit card companies are the same way. The credit card companies know there's a lot of consumers out there that struggle financially. They could implement something like this. They could implement a system where, hey, you know what, you can make a purchase and within 3 easy payments, right, you could just have this completely paid off, interest-free. But if you miss a payment, then we charge you interest, something like that. But they're not going to do that. Because as we know, a lot of people love to use credit cards to get points, and these big banks are making so much money off people that's making a minimum payment off the interest. Because can you imagine if most people that are making only just minimum payments with credit card debt, they all just start using buy now, pay later, then all those people who are responsible using credit card debt, right, and getting all these points and rewards is going to get reduced because now the people that, were actually contributing by paying the interest was benefiting those who are good with credit cards. And don't get me wrong, credit cards are great, especially for points, rewards, and all that, but the majority of society does not use it. There is a small segment of people who use credit cards responsibly, especially for points, but there's others that don't. And what's really unfortunate is they have the opportunity to use the same credit cards that people are using, but they're racking up so much interest. So buy now, pay later, to me, is a better viable option for someone that's horrible with credit. And let's not act like it's bad and credit card is good because, as I said, so many people right now have credit card debt. So if you're going to be in credit card debt, I'd rather you go into buy now, pay later, use their services and not rack up so much debt. It's an interesting thought. You guys let me know what you think.
I think the thing that we're seeing in the industry right now is widespread adoption of alternatives to credit cards.
Buy now, pay later was kind of created for people who either didn't want to use credit cards or didn't have a lot of open to buy on their credit cards.
Yeah, you see, because credit cards, man, this is the thing. I know a lot of people are not going to like the idea of what I just said. I already know it. And some people might agree and find it interesting. Just depends. Just depends. But when credit cards first came out, guys, it was never meant to be used the way people are using it now, with some people being so responsible. It was always to get you in that trap. So I'm pretty sure when credit cards came out, people looked at it like, whoa, this is a trap, right? From day one, it's a trap because you're paying all this interest. The bank's going to make all this money. And they just, you have to be making these minimum payments and you're stuck with it. Now that we introduce something like buy now, pay later, you would think if they both were introduced at the same time, a lot of these financial guru people will look at it and say, oh, the better option is using the buy now, pay later. Because you're paying no interest, right? Like off the bat, it makes sense. And as I said, I know people are going to say psychologically, though, you'll start getting more than you could afford. People do the same thing with credit cards. It's really, really interesting how this new technology came out. People looked at it and they talked bad about it. And now it's like, well, it's not that bad. But the only thing I will say, though, is if you're someone that's impulsive spending, this is something that obviously is going to get you. But at least if you mess up within 3 easy payments, it's done and it's gone. Yes, you miss out opportunities on saving and doing other things with your money because you're locking in your future income with making these payments. But at least you can make a mistake and it's not going to linger, man, for years and years of your life. I really think buy now, pay later is going to play a big role in society. It's only a matter of time. It's doing it now. I know people are traveling using it, which to me, that's not a good way of using it. I know people using it to buy certain things in their lives. And it's just a convenient, fast, easy way to just get whatever it is you want to get. If you don't have the money for it now, make those easy payments and you're done.
We think there's a huge opportunity to disrupt the credit card industry in the US.
One of the largest buy now, pay later players, Klarna, saw its stock pop 15% during its public trading debut. Beyond the direct challenge that buy now, pay later loans pose to credit cards, big banks and financial institutions have other reasons to be cautious of consumers who use these plans, especially as the number of users continue to grow.
Of course they do, because they see it as a threat. A lot of these banks see, all these buy now, pay later apps as a threat. That's it. Because, these banks are greedy, man. They just want to take advantage of people who suck with credit, hit them with these crazy high 29, 30% interest rates, and just bury them. Just bury them for years and years of credit card debt. You're seeing it now. So many people right now are struggling, trying to just survive. And the number one thing they have that's killing them is credit card debt. But you know what happens? Some people start paying a little bit, and then they start using some of the available balance once they pay it off. Then they use a little bit more, and they pay the available balance. And for their whole life, they're stuck in that cycle. But what if you're cut off? You can make no more purchases, and 3 easy payments, everything is done. That debt is not lingering. So these banks, of course, they see it as a threat. Of course they are, because it's going to affect their bottom line.
In 2024, an estimated 86.5 million Americans used buy now, pay later loans, and the number could rise to 91.5 million in 2025.
Buy now, pay later to date represents a giant black hole in the credit profile and their understanding of consumer credit quality.
Yeah, that's the issue. As I mentioned, that is the problem right there, is that now you can't determine people's credit worthiness because it's phantom debt. Someone could be walking around with $10,000 of buy now, pay later type loans, and you have no idea. So you don't know about their credit worthiness, which is why I feel like eventually they're going to make some changes where using these buy now, pay later, I think they're working on it now. Some of them actually are reporting, from what I heard, I think it was Klarna, that you can now see how much of that they have. Because if you try to get a house, a car, or any type of loan, they want to see how much debt you have and how you handle your debt responsibly. And if they see you have all this debt on the side, debt that is not part of the equation, it doesn't mean you won't get approved for the loan, but just means that to just be evaluated, especially if your debt to income ratio is a lot higher than expected. So with all that being said, man, buy now, pay later is interesting. I'm not encouraging people to use it at all. I'm just having like a conversation here to think about this new service that's out, and it's changing the landscape of how people buy things and how they use credit. It's just another form of credit. It's not a payday loan. It's nothing like that. It's not predatorial. It's strictly just there for you. And if you use it, three payments and you're done. It's not that bad.
When any new product gets introduced into the marketplace, there's skepticism, there's uncertainty. Credit cards and banks and others want to protect their own products as well. And so we're in that transition time.
Yeah, that's the thing. They want to make sure now that these people are not a threat. But it's here to stay, in my opinion. I think buy now, pay later is going to be around for a long time. They're going to pump more technology into it. It's going to become some type of like an AI type service where it's like they instantly approve you, and it's just going to become a whole lot easier than dealing with just having credit cards. It's going to happen. I already know it. Now, as of now, from what I know, the little knowledge that I know, it's only for like buying stuff online and like vacation and like hotels and stuff like that. As long as this doesn't expand to like being able to like take cash and borrow that money, go gambling and do something crazy, then it's going to be a problem. Obviously, it'll be a big time problem. But if it stays in the landscape the way it is now, because remember, layaway, me growing up, people used to do layaways. It's the same concept. It's the same concept. And a lot of people are going to start using this during Christmas. And then it's like, okay, you use it for Christmas. And then when Christmas is over, the first week of January, you're done. You don't have to worry about the whole damn year trying to pay back your loans. Once again, I understand what people are going to say. And I get it too. You have to be responsible with money. It's all about the mindset. It's all about controlling your impulsive spending. And things like this doesn't help you. But if you're someone who doesn't have that mindset and you're do impulsive spending and you want to, help someone out financially, and this is what they got themselves into, buy now, payday loans, buy now, pay later type loans, like, okay, this is temporary. Within a few weeks, it's done. Compared to, you have a mountain of debt. You have to do the debt snowball. There's so much you need to do to pay it off.
So what's behind the rise of buy now, pay later loans? And why are traditional lenders like banks and credit card companies wary of them?
Typically, when people think of buy now, pay later, they think about the pay in 4 model, where you pay a quarter of the price up front, and then you have 3 installments every 2 weeks to pay off the remainder.
They're essentially a short-term financing tool at point of sale.
They'll see a button, a Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, PayPal, or others. It specifically states you can pay for this product using one of these payment platforms.
Yeah, that is the key to it all as well, which I think is really, really important, which is the fact that you still initially have to make that first payment. And you do know how much the rest of your payments are going to be. But the fact that you need to make that first payment, to me, is critical. Because a lot of people use a credit card and they're saying, you know what, I'd rather keep that cash in my pocket. I'd rather keep the money in my account, swipe my card, wait till the bill comes in, pay a minimum. No. If you put some skin in the game, that makes you a whole lot more willing to pay it off. Because now you started, right? You started, here's some money. Okay, I got 3 payments. Not 4, I have 3 payments that I need to make after my initial payment, and I'm done. That, to me, psychologically seems more doable for someone that doesn't have the proper mindset as far as like to handle the finances. But once you put some money in it for making that first payment, I highly feel that you will be more committed to pay it off. Now, I've seen a bunch of TikTok videos of people being extremely ridiculous with booking vacations and doing everything. They're getting way out of hand at the amount of money they're using on the service. But that doesn't mean they won't do the same for credit cards. They will do the same thing for credit cards. It's no difference. No difference at all. Now, what might suck is, this is a bad situation, is someone who's racked up a bunch of credit card debt, they run out, that's it, no availability, and now they're going out and they're using this buy now, pay later. That will suck. But overall though, man, I feel like this is just an interesting conversation to see the type of services is being offered now in the industry. And I honestly feel like a lot of people who do finance have a tough way to deal with this, right? Because a true financial person knows credit card debt, no good. Credit card usage, it is good, right? Buy now, pay later, there is no debt associated with it. Temporarily, yes, but then you pay it back right away and it's good. It doesn't mean you need to make 3 easy payments so you can pay it all off when you want, to be honest with you. That's what I did. I just tried it. I was like, oh, this was interesting. Just to see how it works. I'm like, oh, wow, this is very easy to use, and I just pay it off and that's it. So you do have that option. So the way we're going now in the finance world, I just love to know how this is going to look like in a few years. It's going to be really, really interesting. It's going to be crazy stories as well. People going into debt for a burrito. I get that. The stories are going to be crazy. But to know now how we start using credit, right? Because now obviously these services is going to challenge credit card companies. It's always going to be a challenge with something that we've been doing as a social norm, and people are going to come up with some new type of service to challenge it. I'm always interested to see exactly what it would do. I really, really am. So guys, drop a comment down below. Let me know how crazy I am. I guess I'm crazy. I know. But you just think about these things and you wonder, like, what's so bad about it? I know I'm not the only one that sat down like, yeah, it just feels wrong, but what's so bad about it? I don't know. Drop a comment down below, guys, and let me know how you feel. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.